Good morning. I'm doing another video today. This is called Thank You God, an Atheist, for My Clarity. President Trump, you lied to the LGBT community and you're running for the president. You said you would always stand and support them. I think most of us did not believe it. I sure did not believe it when you made fun of the disabled reporter while running for president. Last night I had two dreams, and I only remember parts of them, but when I awoke I said, that wasn't true at all to myself. It made me think about truth. It made me think about the powers that be and how often I feel my truths are not heard or people don't care, or even if I should be afraid about speaking my truth. I came to the conclusion, hell no. If I ever pissed off the CIA, FBI, organized crime, or everyday people, all I say about organized crime is it is probably a reality all over this world on certain levels. I have enough shit to worry about than their realities. Whatever. I am 64 years old almost. And to quote Cat Stevens' song, Lord, my body has been a good friend and I won't need it when I reach the end. I don't have a degree. I have cerebral palsy and can make people nervous when I talk about philosophy. It's weird to be gifted in certain ways, but also delayed or unable to learn certain things, no matter how hard I try. But that is also true of all people, even those without cerebral palsy. Not all people are gifted in all areas. Is it a form of genius or just an adaptation? Maybe a form of genius. I don't know. I've always been really hard on myself. Trump says transgender people can no longer serve in our military in any way. Why? Do they not love our communities and our country? Do they not have a heart and soul? Do they not love America? As I recall, Trump, you never served in the military. When I was a teenager, I had a friend who was transgender, and they were one of the bravest people I knew. It was almost 50 years ago. I wish I had the strength they had 50 years ago. I tried to locate them on Facebook, but then when I asked for a friendship request, I was denied. I guess I laid too much negative shade about his life when I talked about him on Facebook. I don't recall doing this, but maybe I just talked about too much more than I should have. And it was, after all, it was like years ago, and I was just starting to talk about my sexuality and whatnot. And I wish our friend Jeff was alive, because he would help be a go-between. I always knew I was gay, but I was always afraid of hurting my family and friends. I always felt God did not have a problem with it, because God always knew me. But many conservative Christians drove me away from traditional faith in God. God, when I first found the Unitarian Universal Church in Fresno and started speaking publicly, I flew so high. But sometimes I think my stories from the past scared people or maybe made them feel uneasy. I was not asked to speak like I was used to, and that hurt. And then again, I felt alone in America. It was a big deal for me to come out and speak in conservative Fresno. In case people don't realize it or you're unaware, many people hate gay or transgender people, and often in the name of God. I find it strange, for if you believe in God and you know that He created all people, that you would turn around and hate people or hate people who are gay. I am not a liar to the Universal Unitarian Church because I also question God's existence even though I believe in Him. If God exists, then I am equal as all people are. Let me repeat that again. If God exists, then I am equal to all people. I am not a freak of nature. My friend who was transgender, who I knew years ago, and like I said, it was up for them to share their story if they wanted to, and it is still today. Years ago, I talked to Jerry Shale, who was my high school counselor and later became a vice principal in the 70s, how hard it must have been for this person. I was the only one with cerebral palsy, but nobody knew I was gay. I never mentioned this person by name to Jerry because of my ethics and for his being involved in the educational system. I didn't want to make it weirder for him. After high school, I did tell Jerry I was gay. I know he was a Christian, and he had no problem with it. Last night, I watched the show I Am Jazz about the transgender girl living as a transgender person since she was 4 or 5 years old. I think her parents let her do it because at that age she said, I'm a girl, not a boy, I'm a girl, and they were afraid that she might hurt herself. Some kids in this situation say they want to die rather than keep living like this. She's 16 years old now, and she's been sharing her story for a few years. Last night, her and a few other transgender people on the show showed them doing a live chat on Facebook, and they were talking, and then they took a live caller and he attacked them verbally. Jazz hung up the phone, and then each person on the show shared why they were doing this, not for attention, but to educate people and try to bring awareness. They all showed on the show where her and her parents went to a vigil for every year for transgender people who have been killed or committed suicide because of bullies. I can only imagine the pain transgender people go through. Jazz is a teen, but at times she is depressed. But she has shared her story now for a few years with all of us, and she's probably helped a lot of people. At times it must be hard for her to be able to trust. She is dealing with questions, and she is wondering if she should get the main surgery now. And she's sharing that with the world. So brave and such a great supportive family. Many transgender people or teens do not have the support in their communities or within many of their churches. I have been depressed a lot of times in my life because of my sexuality. If not for my interpretation or faith of God and love for my family and a few other friends I am not biologically related to, but I consider them my family, I am not sure if I would not be here today because of all these things. President Trump, you should be ashamed of yourself. If you're doing this because you're still angry and have hatred towards Obama, Shame on you again. How can you, Trump, say you believe in God and country when you don't want others to serve our country when they have for years? Again, shame on you, Trump. When we die, fame and glory do not mean anything in this life. Fame and glory, that's just for the living. Thank you for watching my video. Have a good day.